Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. To continue explanation of Hadith, first part we explained Hadith from Mishkatul Masabih, and this is the second Hadith. Inshallah we're going to speak on this. Hadith is from Jabir radiyallahu anhu. He says, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أما بعد. Rasulullah sallam used to say, whenever he will start a khutbah, he would use these words: فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الحدي حدي محمد وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل بدعة ضلالة. Rasulullah sallam, whenever he would start a khutbah, he would say, the best book is Kitabullah, and the best guidance is from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the worst matter in deens are innovation, and in every innovation is misguidance. And other word of this hadith, every innovation will take a person to hellfire. As we have explained in the previous video, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is saying, kullu bid'atun dalala. Every innovation is a bid'ah, Every innovation is dalala, is misguidance, So a person cannot come and say, okay, there is good innovation and bad innovation, because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has made it clear. خير الكتاب or أحسن الكتاب كتاب الله. The best book that a person wants to read and take guidance from it is what? Quran. The best hadiyah, the way of a person from whom we take guidance is from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He is our Imam. Some people say, okay, we have Imam Azam Abu Hanifa or Imam Azam Malik and Fulan. No, we don't say that. We have only one Imam. That is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He is the only person whose words we cannot reject. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوا. Whatever the Prophet is giving you, take it. وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. From whatever he is forbidding you, stop. Do not go forward. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Rasulullah sallam is telling us that the best book that a person can take for his guidance is what? Kitabullah. Not Fazal A'mal, like the Tablighis who read it 24/7 and invite people to that, okay, we will talk about Iman. The best book Rasulullah sallam is saying, take Quran with translation, with tafsir, read it. The best person from whom you take guidance is Rasulullah sallam, not an imam, a scholar. Yes, we take from the scholars whatever good is, we put it in front of Quran and Sunnah. If it is something in accordance with Quran and Sunnah, we take it. If it is not, we reject it. Because not a single person should be obeyed blindly. And then Rasulullah sallam says, كل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Every innovation will take a person to hellfire. Innovation can be mukaffara. Any innovation can be, some innovation can be mukaffara. A person might go to hellfire forever. It will be kufr. Like the Shias, Qadianis, Hadith rejector, Munkiri Hadith. Their kufr is, they will be in hellfire forever. Because that's mukaffara, kufr akbar, And some other people who commit bid'ah, for example, they celebrate birthday of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, or they make dua after jama'ah, or any other innovation which does not take a person out from Islam, they will be in hellfire, but not forever. And this is the manhaj of Ahl Sunnah, that we do not make people from the people of hellfire forever based on sins. No. Yes, if there is something which is kufr akbar, shirk akbar, we will be saying, yes, this person might be in hellfire forever. But if a person's actions are not kufr akbar, we wouldn't be saying that about this person. So Rasulullah sallam has explained that every innovation is bid'ah. So brothers, inshallah, stick to this point that there is no bid'ah hasana. There is no hasan in bid'ah. Every innovation will take you to hellfire, so stick to this. Then there is third hadith from Babu Itisam bi Sunnah, narrated from Ibn Abbas. He says, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أبغض الناس إلى الله ثلاثة. The bughz that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have with three people. ملحد في الحرام, a person who does haram things, cross the boundaries in haram, Mecca or Medina, stealing, doing zina, any other thing, crossing the boundaries. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates such person. ومبتغي في الإسلام سنة الجاهلية, a person who brings into Islam things which are from Jahiliyyah, burying the daughters, not giving them mahr, selling daughters, any other action which is from Jahiliyyah. This person brings it to Islam. He accepts Islam. With it, he brings these things as well. Or he is a Muslim, he is bringing these things from Jahiliyyah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates such person. And then, وَمُطْلِبٌ دَمٌ إِمْرٍ مُسْلِمٍ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ لِيُرْحِقُهُ, a person who kills other Muslim unjustly, So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bughz with these people. And we know from this hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a sifat of bughz. There are people like Maturidi, Ash'ari, those people reject sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever you tell them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has love, they say, oh, how can Allah have love, Whenever you tell them that Allah has attributes, Allah says, بَلْ يَدَاهُ مَبْسُوطَتَانِ, I have hands. They reject it. They say, how can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have hands? Then they do two mistakes. First, they say, if we say Allah has hands, then we are making him a tashabbuh with humans. No. Allah says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. He is not like humans, He has hands, not like humans. We ask them simple question, because Ash'ari Maturidi accept 7 attributes of Allah. One of them is hearing, They say Allah can hear. We ask them, you're making tashabbuh of Allah with humans. They must be saying that, okay, his hearing is not like us. We say the same. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hands. He can see, he has face. But how are they? We do not know. Allah says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. For example, I tell a person that I have a watch. The person wouldn't be thinking that I have a chocolate, because watch means watch. But if I ask him, how is my watch, and he hasn't seen it, he wouldn't be able to explain how my watch is, because he hasn't seen it. So same when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he has hands, we say he has hands. So we don't make ta'wil or tamsil. Both of them are not from the sunnah. These are not Ahl Sunnah who do these actions. Ahl Sunnah accept attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without making any tamsil and ta'wil. Second, a person mulhadun fil haram, as a person who steals in haram, loot people, do haram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates such person, because there are some lands which are scared lands, Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Aqsa, Medina, these places. So a person who commits sins in these places will be hated in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are many people we know who go to Hajj just to loot people, pickpocketing, So this is not allowed. These people are hated in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person who brings something into Islam, وَمَبْتَغِي فِي الْإِسْلَامِ, a person who innovates or brings something into Islam which is not part of it, is Jahiliyyah. Most of our Pashtun people, they have actions which are against Quran and Sunnah. They say, well, how can we leave this? For example, not giving women their mahr, not letting her see the person whom he wants to engage, beating them, many things which are from Jahiliyyah, not giving them their rights, treating women like, something rubbish, This is not Islam. And they say this is ghira. No, this is not ghira. This is something which a person is doing out of his, crossing the boundaries which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in. So such person are hated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those people who call to nationalism, come be a Pashtun, be Punjabi, you will be a safe person. No, this is not how a Muslim should be approaching or talking to people. You cannot be a good person if you are a Pashtun. You cannot be a good person if you are a Punjabi or any other person. Arab. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, La fadl al-Arabi. There is no fazl of Arabi or Ajami or Arabi. There is nothing like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The best of you are those who has taqwa. So those people who are calling to such things, we say that this is not that something that people should be calling to, and they should fear Allah and awaiting something in Islam which is not part of it. And then killing وَمُطْلِبٌ دَمِ إِمْرٍ مُسْلِمٍ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ لِيُرْهِقُ بِهِ. Killing a Muslim, innocent people, Muslim, whom should not be killed, you know. Rasulullah ﷺ says Muslim is not killed for illa thalatha, for three things. A person who leaves Islam, Rasulullah ﷺ says, Man baddal din faqtulu. A person who leaves Islam, kill him, you know. Azani, a person who is married and he commits zina. Or qisas, a person who has killed someone and then you kill him qisasan. Other than these three, you don't kill innocent people. These are the actions of Khawarij, who do not look after Muslims, you know, and they kill them innocently for small things, you know. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has told us before, some people will come who will claim to be Muslims and they will kill innocent people, you know. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in a hadith that killing of a Muslim in front of Allah, innocent Muslim in front of Allah, is worse than destroying this whole universe, you know. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees a Muslim being killed innocent, you know. And yet we people don't even think about this, you know. So we should be, you know, careful about these things and try, you know, to invite people to Quran and Sunnah, which is the main base for Muslims, you know. These two hadith are showing us things which a Muslim should stay away from. Innovations, killing innocent people, bringing things into Islam which are not part of it, you know, or doing haram things, zina, all these things. So inshallah, these two hadith will make us, if we work on it, make us better Muslims, because a Muslim is who obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet. We claim to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet, but how can we test ourselves? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a test. He says in Surah An-Nisa, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِ. If you claim to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, follow the Prophet, his teachings, you know. Don't be a stubborn person to whom you say, okay, this is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Then he says, this is not sunnah, this is not wajib, this is not that. Did Rasulullah sallam came for that reason that, okay, follow him in fard and don't follow him in sunnah? No, there's no such thing like that in Islam. Sahaba were not people like that. They would be asking about, did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam act like this? If yes, they would act without even asking sunnah, wajib, you know, these things. So Muslims, if they want to be united, most of the people, they have different ways of uniting people. Okay, let's fight with the kuffar, this will unite us. Do not think about Sufi, Mushrik, or any other person who is committing shirk, but fight the kuffar, this will bring unity. This is not the form of unity which Quran has spoken. Quran says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Be unite, but what is the base on which you will unite? Quran and Sunnah. A Sufi, you tell him, do not commit bid'ah. Would he be united with you? No. A Shia, same. Any other Qadiani, you know. So the main base for a person to be united is Quran and Sunnah. We put Quran and Sunnah in a scale and put any group on that scale. If it is in accordance, we say, yes, we will be united with you. Al-Bughdhu fillah, wal-Hubbu fillah. This is main thing in Islam. We hate those people who go going against Quran and Sunnah. Not the people, their aqaid, which they preach, which they talk. So let us be united, but unity will come only on Quran and Sunnah. Some people say these are small things, we are talking about Sunnah, wajib, pray, you know, jihad is big thing. How can these things be less? Rasulullah ﷺ says, Man taraka salah muta'ammidan faqad kafar. Salah is the main thing in Islam. You know, we are not listing other actions, but those people who have, you know, they see politics to be the main thing, that the Muslims are in trouble, you know, we are not in politics. So these people haven't understood the deen. So inshallah, let us work on these two hadith to be on the right path, on the path which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.